I think the fact that I don't need to think about my race, just going about my daily life, is a sign of white privilege.
Who the hell says I'm thinking about my race? The only time I'm thinking about my race is when I'm around other black people. What's up, everybody? My name is Amir Odom, and in today's video, we're gonna be going through a bunch of like anti-white and woke black culture TikToks because it's Black History Month. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, because I feel like there's a lot of people trying to speak on my behalf as a black person, and personally, I'm over all the woke crap, I'm over all the anti-white stuff, I'm over all the reverse racism, the whole nine. It's very played out, it's tired, it's old, it's dusty, and quite frankly, there's a lot of black people who feel the same way. There's a lot of black people who even disagree with this whole idea of having a Black History Month. Personally, I would much rather have just American history be celebrated and taught about all year. I don't understand why you're segmenting me and my ancestors and my race to 1 month. And I always thought that was weird, especially growing up in schools, how, okay, so we talk about being desegregated, we talk about wanting to be seen as equal, then why are we promoting only talking about black people during this 1 month as if we aren't a part of America's history as it is? So let's talk about everything at once. So that's just how I personally feel about it, and I know other people have expressed their opinions too, especially in the comments below. Like I said before, in this video, we're going to react and commentate to a couple of different perspectives and just people's general feelings and just some racist stuff that I've seen across the internet from the Browns, the people who look like me, black people in America. Without further ado, let's just get right into this.
This is truly disgusting, and whoever's sending it out is vile.
Greetings. You have been selected to pick cotton. You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Be ready at 1 p.m. sharp with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come get you in a brown van. Be prepared to be searched down once you've entered the plantation. You're at Plantation Group C. Good day. If I would have saw that message, I would just start laughing and paid it no mind. I'm not a slave. I'm nowhere close to being a slave. It's clearly a meme. It's clearly a joke. It's clearly meant to rile a reaction. And it's sad because I used to be this way too. When it comes to racial tensions on campus, I used to get really emotional really fast, especially in regards to back in the day. Back when I was in college, they were holding up these signs that were saying, it's okay to be white. And I was really offended by that because in my head, I'm like, we know it's okay to be white, but it's not okay to be black. Whole time, obviously, it's okay to be black. In this case here, it's unfortunate. Her name, Elise or Alice, felt very immediately just started crying reading this text message. Like, you shouldn't be allowing yourself to be that emotionally fragile to a text message.
No one should ever, think to send that message or receive that message. It just made me sick to my stomach.
I had a knot in my chest that, I just can't explain. Like, it's 2024. So just for her to receive a message like that, it was mind blowing to me. I'm not just going to sit back quietly and let anyone just sweep it up under the rug and say, well, let's just follow protocol and do this and do that. No, some changes need to be made.
What changes need to be made? It's a joke. It's a meme. It's clearly a text blast from other dumb college guys wanting to rile up a reaction. I genuinely, like I said before, I understand the girl being that emotional in this state with how high racial tensions can be, especially in the black community. But I don't know, like, for someone to take it that serious and to really think someone's wanting to ship them off on the plantation is mind-blowing. I mean, hell, for all we know, it could have been AI. Somebody could have been using DeepSeek or something like ChatGPT to create these messages and put it in the system and send it out an email blast. That's it. Of which, if you haven't been filled in, ChatGPT has a new competitor called DeepSeek. And while their AI is known to be good, if not better than ChatGPT, what concerns a lot of people is that it's based in China, and everything you search and talk about with DeepSeek is stored in China on their servers. And I know there's people like, forget China, I don't want America in my data either. I don't want America all up in my business. Well, I got you. Utilizing today's sponsor, Venice AI, you'll be secure. Venice AI is a generative AI platform that is private and permissionless. They utilize leading open source AI models to deliver text, code, image generation, and much more to your web browser. There's no downloads, there's no frustrations, plugins, installs, none of that. Since the people over at DeepSeek made their model open source, this means the people over at Venice AI were able to edit that, keep it private, and remove any bias or any censorship that was initially in it, again, because China was blocking things from it. Again, I know plenty of people out there that are sus about any government having access to their private data. So if you've been struggling with using ChatGPT because our feds are all up in that and it's a US company, but then you also want to try out DeepSeek, but you don't want to be all up in China's business, then Venice AI is a perfect solution for you. All the messages that you have with this AI are encrypted, and all of the history is stored on your local browser. And if you want to try out Venice AI for yourself, you don't even need need to make an account. You can tap the link below or scan the QR code on my screen and just start chatting immediately. At that, if you want to take advantage of its features, and using code Amir will get you 20% off your order. Again, if privacy is a concern for you and you want to utilize AI tools, then Venice AI is a perfect solution for you.
Dr. Umar Johnson.
That was him.
Black Queens forever.
If you didn't hear that, this black man, Dr. Umar, we've talked about him on his channel before. He walks into this lecture hall and he says, "Black Queens forever," and the crowd of blacks yells out, "Snow bunnies never." And if you're not familiar with what a snow bunny is a white person. Now, can you just for a split second imagine if this was reversed? If you had a white man, if you had imagine Charlie Kirk or some white man come up in this classroom, this lecture hall full of white students and said, "White queens forever, black people never." Be so for real right now. You know they will try to burn that school down. What's wild to me is the sheer amount of racism that blacks give out that is just callously just out there willy-nilly and openly and accepted, and it should not be a thing. We fought so hard to be seen as equal. We fought so hard to coexist with white people to the point where now you're trying to segregate yourself and you're being just flat out racist. Are there racist white people out there? Yes, but what you don't see is this. You don't see this behavior and it's upfront and that bold and blatant. You don't see that from white people at all at this level. But like seriously, can you imagine if the roles were reversed? It would be a problem. Black people would be out here hollering about racism and crying in the streets about how white people want them gone, this and that. You're doing the same thing right now. You're doing what you actively don't want to see from white people.
There are many philosophies out there about how black people can.
As you all can see, this caption on the video says, "Black America's biggest problem is ... white people." I know this to be a bald-headed lie. The biggest problem black Americans are facing are other black people. When we look at the data, when we look at who's responsible for most of the murders in this country, it's black people. When we look at who's responsible for most of the robberies in this country, it is black people. When we look at who's responsible for the most degenerate culture that is promoted mainly on mainstream, it is black people. The most downright disgusting and unfortunate behaviors that are portrayed within American culture right now in American society is stemming from black people who are a minority in this country. I don't understand why people like this really think like white people are the problem in America when it's mainly black people doing black people wrong. It's mainly black people shooting and killing all these other black people and black babies and kids in Chicago and all these other major cities out there for no reason. It's mainly black people scamming other black people. It's like we swear up and down Black Lives Matter, but we don't even act like our own lives matter. We swear up and down white people are the biggest problem and acting like we had it worse than in the 60s and 70s, but we already had a call with my papa on how bad things were back in that day. We're not facing that. I'm not getting whipped by massa. I'm not getting beat. I'm not getting bit by dogs, sprayed by water hose. None of this. To sit here and blatantly just whine and just be part of this victim ideology that like, oh, woe is me, like white people, I have it so bad in America. Look around you in your immediate environment in life. Do you really have it that bad as a black person? Are white people really after you like that? Hell, even think about in your own life, if you're a black person watching this right now, who has done you more wrong? Like it's your immediate family and friends around you who probably are all black. Like how are you gonna move through life and you look at all the things that have been done to you wrong on a personal level and it's from black people, but then you want to get online and you still want to like hip and holler about like white people are the problem in America? I'm sorry, it's not white people's fault that black Americans don't know how to get it together and don't know how to act. It sounds so out unhinged and racist sometimes, but it's really not. Like the data's there. We can't sit here and act like white people are the issue when black people are out here in the streets acting the way we act. Like even the Boondocks was a black cartoon show, anime, was always making fun of black culture because black people don't know how to act. You look at the Popeyes and the N-word meal. You got the Popeyes. Oh, I should get that today for dinner. I love me some Popeyes. Love me a 3-piece mild. Ooh, with an extra side of gravy and mashed potatoes and red beans and rice with some honey packets. Anyways, woo, I'm hungry. Popeyes got that collab with Don Julio. I saw a podcast and it said, you know, you get black people chicken and you get black people liquor, then you get black people with triggers. That's what you get. You get it popping. And it's unfortunate because somebody did die over a chicken sandwich, y'all. Like black people don't know how to act. It's not white people's fault that black people are out here acting a fool in the streets. Let's be real here. Let's keep it a buck. It's not white people's fault. So I'm not This video ain't even worth going through right now just because of how they set it up. But we're gonna play it a little bit. We're gonna see what this lady has to say. But it's already just frustrating that we're just constantly pointing the blame at everybody else except ourselves.
Advance as a group. And I believe that it's well-meaning to assume that, you know, if we just got our economics together, then we would be better off as a people. If we healed our trauma first before starting movements, then we'd be able to advance as people. If we. And the reality is that there are so many examples of Black people working collectively, thriving economically, and those things, those structures, economies, communities literally being destroyed by the hatred, violence, mobs of white people. And it's like the elephant in the room. We don't want to.
What is she talking about? If you're saying there's so many examples of Black people thriving, but they're being burned down and mobbed by white people, why are we not seeing it? Why is it not on the news? Why am I not seeing this? Because I haven't heard any of this at all. If you're saying they keep taking it away, then why are there still so many successful Black people in this country? They're clearly doing something right.
Feel like victims. I get it. We don't want to feel like victims. We want to feel like, well, what can we do? Well, what can we do? And it's like, we've done everything. We've done it all. We've had our own bus systems, plane systems, banking systems, communities, again, thriving in during segregation. So during like political oppression, social oppression, we've thrived. And time again, hatred has thwarted that.
Noticed? She said all that just to go back to what did happen. Just to go back to the examples of how white people did tear down Black communities and Black people. Why are we not talking about right now? Why are you jumping to back in the day when during segregation when these things were actually going down? And yeah, white people were the biggest problem for Black Americans at that time. Why aren't we talking about right now in 2025? I don't know any example of white people really stopping a Black person's bag in 2025.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, the solution, I don't really have the solution, but the problem is racism and the hatred that white people and the violence that white people commit against Black people. That is the problem. It's not about us being organized enough. It's not about us being...
What violence? When you look at the data, it's us, sweetie. It's us committing all the violence. I don't understand. It's sad. It's very sad. It's sad and it's frustrating seeing Black people this so woe is me. Like, I don't want to be a victim, but like, it's white people. Take personal accountability for your own life. I am every statistic. I know I'm anecdotal. I know I'm like one example, but the fact that I was able to make a life of never having a father, never really having a mother, being homeless, being poor, living in, I don't know if it was like Section 8, but like it was a rental cap. You have to make a certain amount of money to even live in that community, known as like the poor neighborhood in my little town that I grew up in Tennessee. Being in a trailer, like doing all these different things. Here I am today because I made something out of my life. I worked really, really hard through corporate America, through all the different things, so here I am now today. And all this was made possible by the freedoms that our ancestors fought for, that I'm not going to ignore. I'm not going to sit here and whine and complain and act like I don't have. There's nobody white really stopping you from getting your back. There's no one white bullying you and pushing you down. It's like these people forget the energy you give is the energy you get. And if you go through life with this poor energy and this horrible mindset, this woe is me victim mentality, and I'm not gonna get anything, and the one's against me because I'm Black, you're gonna have a rough life. You genuinely are. I truly believe that. You're gonna have a rough life because your outlook is so poor. Your outlook and your confidence in your skin color and what you're able to achieve in this nation is piss poor. If you have the confidence and you know you're that person and you know you're going to go out there and achieve anything you put your mind to, you can and you will. And we see that being proven day in and day out by the most successful black people out there in this nation right now. But you will not get to that point. You will not be successful. You will not thrive in this nation as a black person if you continuously look down upon yourself as, oh, little old black me, white man's up here. You're never going to get anywhere with that attitude. I'm sorry. You're just not.
To my black brothers and sisters across this country,
We just saw him in the other video. What is this man doing? What is his name? Austin?
I'm sorry. I'm asking for your forgiveness because I see it. I see men like me rolling back the protections for equal employment rights that you fought centuries for. I saw it yesterday as we incarcerated a generation of your children and then profited off of their unfair sentences. I saw it in the history books as men who looked just like me imprisoned and shackled people who looked just like you and then built a nation off of the backs of your ancestors' labor.
I don't like the way he's talking at me. I'm gonna let this man finish.
At the table of privilege gives me the ability to easily ignore the scraps of food that fall on the floor that you have to fight for.
These people have no idea how racist this ideology is. Ooh, I'm so, ooh. I can't. These people have no idea how racist it is to sit up here on this platform and talk to the camera to a black person and say, I know I'm privileged and I'm better than you as a white person in America. I'm sitting at this table eating and you get all the scraps. You know, to sit here and look at all black people the same, to say that all black people just have nothing in life, they're just below you. Like, I don't understand how you can just sit here this bold and make a video like this.
Professional cowardice is a learned behavior, and because my rights are handed to me on a silver platter in this country, I can say and do whatever I want, which includes being complicit through silence.
What rights don't I have? A black man in 2025, damn near 30 years old, what rights don't I have that you do? What's given on a...
And in action. For too long, I've carried your cause in my heart and shook my head disapprovingly as the bad things happened, all the while knowing that I was going to be just fine. I can't do that anymore. And I'm not asking for praise or adoration, I'm asking for direction. Help me understand how to fight for you.
Don't. Sit your down. I'm gonna let it play.
Give me the words to say. Give me the places to march. There are plenty of us that need to be emboldened by what you know, that need to have a fire lit in our souls that will cause us to speak up, not for our own justice, but for yours.
The only fire, literally have a tattoo. It says fire right here. The only fire in 2025 that a black person needs to keep ignited and keep light is their own, because there is nothing preventing me from being successful in doing what I want to do in this nation. The only fire I need lit is the fire inside of me to stay bright and remind me as a leading direction that I can and I will be great in this prosperous nation that is the United States of America. Because I am fully aware there are thousands of enslaved black people to this day, plot twist, by black slave owners in Africa. I'm not there. I'm in America. I'm fully well aware of what my ancestors have gone through in this country to get me to where I am today. I'm fully aware of the hundreds of bodies below me right now in the deep south in Tennessee, looking up at me, being their wildest dream, getting paid to talk when they didn't even have a damn voice. For you, Austin, to sit here and really say and act like I have it so bad that you need to speak for me and I need to tell you what help I need you to do and you're going to be our savior and this and that. Do you not see how wrong that is? It's so frustrating. It's so racist. It's race. And y'all know I'm never the one to really call race. I'm about to crash out. Y'all know I'm not the one to really claim racism 9 times out of 10. This is it. Like, you're literally looking down at me. Like, woe is me because I'm a little black. Oh, the black, he needs my help. I'm a white man. Oh, I need to save my blacks out here. I'm so privileged in America. I can get anything I want. I can do anything I want. There's nothing a black can do without my help on social media. Oh my gosh. We're going to the next one.
Do you have white privilege?
I believe everybody at Georgetown definitely does that is white.
100%. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think the fact that I don't need to think about my race just going about my daily life is a sign of white privilege.
Who the hell says I'm thinking about my race? The only time I'm thinking about my race is when I'm around other black people. I never think about my race in any other situation except when I'm around other black people, because I got to be up on guard. Like, what's about to happen to me? Because when I'm looking at the data, hello, not even trying to be racist, when I'm looking at the data, my life's a little bit in danger. If I'm walking down the streets of Chicago at night in a black neighborhood, I'm not just at free willy-nilly. No, I'm likely to get shot and killed. But if I'm in the deep south, if I'm in a white neighborhood walking around at 2 a.m., done it before, been on runs countless times, I've been fine. Many of my friends have been fine. It's okay. Ooh, these white folks. Ooh, I hate saying things like that, these white folks, but
You have indicated that you don't believe in systemic racism. What is your definition of systemic racism?
Let me answer the question that you've answered.
Or does it even exist in your mind?
Let me answer the question this way. One of the things I think about, and one of the reasons why I'm on the show, is because of the comments that were made, frankly, on this show, that the only way for a young African-American kid to be successful in this country is to be the exception and not the rule. That is a dangerous, offensive, disgusting message to send to our young people today, that the only way to succeed is by being the exception. I will tell you that if my life is the exception, I can't imagine.
But it is.
But it's not, actually. It's
been 114 years.
Yeah, so
for Sunny, if you don't know, Sunny is the woman right there, and that's Tim Scott. For Sunny to be like, but your life is the exception. I hate that so much, because I've been told that. I've been told that I am the exception. I am the lucky one. I am one of the lucky blacks. I'm living. This is just life. There's so many black people around me who are doing good. We're fine. Why is it that in order for racism and systemic racism to fit your narrative, you have to say, actually, no, well, you're just one of the lucky ones. I'm just talking about the other people. But blacks are right in front of you telling you how good we've got it. Like, we're fine.
the matter is we've had an African-American president, African-American vice president. We've had 2 African-Americans to be secretaries of the state. In my home city, the police chief is an African-American who's now running for mayor. The head of the highway patrol for South Carolina is an African-American.
It's like, are all those people the exception? All these black people doing so good in this nation, in this country, in his town. Is everybody the exception now?
Still
In
exceptions.
1975, there was about 15% employment in the African-American community. For the first time in the history of the country, it's under 5%.
40% homelessness.
And 50% of the folks in our community
get 13% of the
You had a
population.
chance to ask the question. I know that I've watched you on the show that you like people to be deferential and respectful, so I'm going to do the same
is
thing.
true.
So here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest the fact of the matter is that progress in America is palpable. It can be measured in generations. I look back at the fact that my grandfather, born in 1921 in Sally, South Carolina, when he was on a sidewalk, a white person was coming, he had to step off and not make eye contact. That man believed then, with some doubt now, in the goodness of America, because he believed that having faith in God, faith in himself, and faith in what the future could hold for his kids would unleash opportunities in ways that you cannot imagine. Every kid today can look, just change the stations and see how much progress has been made in this country. ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN, CNN, Fox News all have African-American and Hispanic hosts. So what I'm suggesting is that the yesterday's exception is today's rule. And for us to
So
suggest...
America has met its promise.
No, of course, the concept of America is that we are going to become a more perfect union.
Which we're obviously becoming. He's spitting so much facts right now. Our progress can be measured by generations, and what we see now is not what was the generation behind us, let alone the generation behind them. Like, why is that my life, I'm the lucky one, I'm the exception? Like, my life was not lucky at all. If you want to talk about a lucky black person that's just born into luck, then we can talk about like Kim Kardashian's kid, Beyonce's kid, Drake's kid. We can, well, he ain't really that black. We can talk, we have these conversations, okay? But the everyday Joe who comes from nothing, everyday black who comes from nothing and makes something out of their life, now all of a sudden they're the exception instead of actually like performing well in society and like reaping the benefits of what our ancestors fought for. We are living in, we have it so good, you guys. Happy Black History Month. Like, actually, we have it so good in this nation. But as long as you're stuck on our past, as long as you're stuck on what we couldn't be able to do, what hasn't been done, you're never gonna see, you're blinded. You're so jaded, like you're never gonna see the blessings that are right in front of you. In this video, we've seen many different perspectives. We've seen some white people who think they're holier than thou, and we've seen black people who can be rich AF but still think they have it so bad in America. And it's unfortunate because if I said it before and I'll say it again, as a black person in America in 2025, I am my ancestors' dream. I'm everything they could have ever even fathom, and I'm gonna live in that. I'm gonna breathe in that. I'm gonna act in that. I'm gonna live my life and practice it with so much gratitude and so much respect to what my ancestors have gone through in the past. And I acknowledge the pain and the struggles that they all have faced to the point where today I can do whatever I want to do in this nation. And I'm always going to have that mindset, and I can only hope that you are too. If you are a black person watching this, that you know you can be and achieve anything you put your mind to in this nation. There's no white man above you. There's nothing. Are there challenges you're going to have to face? Correct. Life ain't easy, but it's not always because of your race. There are many challenges that all my white friends have faced, even from white peers. Like, it's not like if you're white, you're automatically in this club and then you get anything and everything. No, they have it hard too. That is evident with the sheer amount of poor whites you see and the amount of white people you see complaining about America. Like, literally, if you just focus on you and only you, white, black, purple, green, it don't matter. If you focus on you and only you, tunnel vision, you will get the things you set your heart out to get. And you have to have the positive mindset, because the energy you give is the energy you get. If you're gonna go out this life being negative, being just so distraught and just hate America, this, that, and the third, and that's what you're gonna see. You're never truly gonna see how prosperous life can be for you. So whoever's watching this right now, I hope you know that you are it. You are that person. You can do and achieve anything you put your mind to. I'm gonna leave it at that. These racial videos always get me up tense, but I saw some clips and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna say this for a video and we're gonna go through the whole thing on camera because this is too much. So without further ado, thank you guys for liking and subscribing to this content and sharing it with people. It means the world to me. Channel's growing at a rapid rate. I'm so honored that you spend your time watching my channel and watching these videos with me. Hope your meal was good. Hope your commute was good. Hope hanging with your friend, or you cuddling in bed, or you up late, you at work on a break, or you not even on a break, you just listening right now, whatever it may be. Truly an honor to have you here. Thank you for your time. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Deuces.